Is your home technically finished, but it doesn't feel like it actually is done being set up? I'm going to give you a few final touches that you definitely should not be skipping when you set up or design your home. I'm Kayla Goldstein. I'm an interior designer for moms doing new builds and gut renovations here in Muncie and the greater Muncie area. And I have clients who swear by me. So I know that I can help you. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified so that you can watch all my videos, and let's get started. So the first tip that I want to tell you is soft furnishings. You want to make sure that you have the pillows, the throws, the rugs, all of the soft things in the room that complete the look. A lot of people skip this because of the mess, because they get thrown around, because they don't view them as functional, but they really do add a lot to the room. They add a lot of softness and coziness, which makes the room more inviting and warm, but they also serve as a purpose to ground the room. So if you have a rug in the room, that rug will serve as a purpose to ground the room and kind of bring the color palette into a final little knock on the head of the color palette and finalize the design. If you have a pillow that's contrasting the couch, that will make your couch look that much more designed. If you have a throw blanket that's thrown over the back of the couch and it brings in a color that's on the armchair, that makes your room feel balanced. And all of that softness and that texture brings in another aspect and element to the room that you won't have with anything else that you bring in. Don't forget the soft furnishings. Number two, you want to make sure that you have artwork and that your artwork is balanced and to scale. When I say artwork, I don't mean necessarily paintings. It can be pictures. It can be anything that you find in the store that can go on your wall. It can be anything in a frame that can be put on the floor and leaned against the wall, put on a shelf and leaned against the wall. It doesn't necessarily have to mean expensive artwork. And when I say balanced, I mean that you want to use it to bring in a color and texture and personality into the room where it might be missing. So if you have a room that has a big brown couch over here, or like my room has a big green couch, velvet couch over here, and I wanted to bring something green over here, you want to bring in artwork that has green in it and put it on this wall to balance the colors. On the other hand, if you have a lot of metal going on this side of the room, let's say you have anything in it that might have gold, silver, brass, or any kind of metal element, you want to bring that same color metal frames to this side of the room and put it on that wall. That's what we call balance. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure is that it's to scale. You want to make sure that you're not putting an artwork that's way too big on a small wall or way too small on a big wall. So what you're going to make sure is that you have white space on either side of the painting and that white space is equal, and that you have white space above and below it, and that doesn't necessarily have to be equal because you want the artwork and the focus of the artwork to be at eye level. And you want to make sure that that white space looks like a frame to the frame rather than a frame on a wall, so that it is big enough to be noticed, but not so big that it's what you see more than the artwork. Now, you want to make sure that you're using this to balance the room, to bring personality, to add to your color palette, and you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it. To be honest, balancing the room is one of the things that people have the most struggle with, and it's one of the biggest reasons a room doesn't feel finished. So if you want, you can go ahead and comment in the comments about what's going on in your room, and I can try and help you. I think you can even add a picture if you're comfortable with that, but I really will try to help you in the comments. The third thing you want to make sure of is that you have greenery. I know it sounds super intimidating to some people, but greenery really adds, I'm noticing that there's greenery right here. Greenery really adds a lot to the room. It adds a lot of fresh air to a room and a good smell to the room, but it also fills up those awkward spaces. It fills up those darker spaces that you wouldn't necessarily want to put another home decor item in, but you can put greenery in. And another thing that you want is the greenery can add color and life and brightness to a room without changing the color palette in the room. So greenery is really great for that. It makes the room feel very finished, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in a plant on the floor or a tree on the floor. It can be on a shelf, it can be on a wall, it could be from the ceiling, it could be in a windowsill, it could be however you feel like it. It just brings in a lot. And if you don't have a green thumb, you can buy fake ones. They have amazing fake ones out there nowadays that really look and feel real. They just don't bring that aspect of fresh air in that you would have with the plant, that the plant kind of purifies the air for you. Another way you can help with the greenery is the greenery can a lot of times bring in some aspects of color because of the pot that it's in, and whatever it is in will bring in texture and color to the room and add to it as well. And it also helps to balance if you have an empty corner or an empty space. The fourth thing, sorry, that I would say to do is to not throw out all your sentimental things. See, there's this really big tendency that people have when they're redoing a room is to get rid of everything. I don't want to be a hoarder. I have way too much clutter, and you're right. You need to get rid of some of the stuff, but you do not need to get rid of all of it. And there are so many sentimental items that when you put them in your room, it makes the room feel like it's yours, and you no longer feel as though you're living in a room that doesn't feel like it's yours, and it doesn't feel finished, and it doesn't feel inviting. When you put little pictures of your family, little trinkets from family vacations, little memories that you have, anything that's a gift from a grandma, it makes the room yours. Now, don't overdo it. Make sure that it matches. Make sure that it's in a place that's to scale. You're not going to put a massive picture on a tiny shelf, but you do want to bring in some of that sentimentalization, I don't know, into your room and make it yours. The fifth and the last tip that I would tell you is literally the final touches, the finishes. You want to make sure that all the doorknobs are doorknobs that match and doorknobs that you like. All those little things, the light switch, the little covers for the light switches, the curtain, the ends on the curtain rods, all those little things that you can literally just go to Target and buy replacements for if you don't like yours, adds so much to the room. If there are people that don't like their kitchen and then they just change the handles and it's so much better. If you feel like your kid's closet is like blah and boring and not helping, go get really cute handles for that. If you don't like the night table and you feel like everything is too matchy, go get a pop of color for the handles for the night table. It adds so much, and it really, really brings in that final touch, because it really is the final touch. Now, if you're still having trouble, you're not sure exactly what throws to buy and what pillows to buy and what artwork to buy and all that kind of stuff, because it is overwhelming and it is a little commitment, and it is a little bit scary. I do have a service that's called the pre-designed rooms, and what it is that you choose the room and the style that you want, and it gives you everything that you need to buy for it and instructions on how to buy it and how to install it. And these are very affordable rooms, and it's very affordable. The items on the spreadsheet are affordable, and the room itself is affordable. And I've done this for people who don't necessarily want or can hire a designer, but want to know what they can do. The best part about it is that if you ever need to replace the couch or replace something in the room, you have exactly what to buy, and you know that it will match, and you know that it will work. So if you want, you can go ahead and look at that. The link is in my description. And if you like this video, if it at all helped you, go ahead and like it. Tell me that it helped you and share it with your friends. Thank you so, so much for watching, and have a great day.